All right, so today we're going to be adding integers. Remember, integers are whole numbers that can be negative, 0, or positive, and we're going to add them. The first half of our notes will be small numbers. The second half of our notes will be big numbers. So keep that in mind. I'll show you how it's organized once we show the screen. Expectations, remember to pause the video. There are several practice questions in here, so I want you to pause it, try it on your own. You're not just skimming and copying, so hopefully you're listening to this. And yeah. There's our after the video, and here we go. So adding integers, we are on page 16. So now here is what it's going to look like. It's going to be a big, there's going to be 4 boxes at the top and then 2 rows at the bottom. So just showing you that again, here is our title. This is about the top half of my page, has 4 boxes, A, B, C, D, for our small numbers. And then at the bottom, I split it into 2 rows for our big numbers because there's 2 different scenarios that happen. And so I want to have different examples sorted out. So first example, and we're going to show this in different ways as well. So our first example is we're going to take a -4 and we're going to add to it a -3. I want to know what that looks like. So there are 2 methods we can use, or that are typically used. So one method is called the chip method, and one is using a number line. So I'm not going to label them anymore just because it takes up room, but for the chip method, I'm going to take -4 chips, or 4 negative chips. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are dashes because they're negative signs, and I'm going to add to it 3 more negatives. So how many total do I have? I have 7 negatives. So my answer is -7 because I have 7 negatives. If I was going to use a number line, and yes, I want you to write this out. If I was going to use a number line, I would have 0 over here. I just moved it over just so I have room because the marker is pretty big. And I'm going to start at -4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm going to add to it a -3. So this could be like I owe you $4, but then I borrowed 3 more from you. So I'm going to borrow 3 more. And so this is -3. So my total bill will be $7 that I owe you. So that's why it's a -7. So then that would be a first example. What if we tried -3 plus 2? So again, the chip method, I'm going to have 3 negatives, but then this time I will have 2 positives. And what do you notice with a negative and a positive? What's -1 plus +1? 0. So those make 0. What about these? They make 0. So what's left? A negative. So this is -1 as our final answer. If I did this on a number line, I would be starting at -3. And now, if I owe you $3, I'm going to give back $2. I just suddenly did some chores. I have $2 to my name. I'm going to add 2. And now my answer will be, my debt to you is -1 because I paid down 2 of those dollars. All right, question C. 5 plus a -3. And I'll do D as well. -4 plus -3. So on C, I want you to pause and try it on your own. On D, I want you to pick a method you like and try it for 1 of these 3, try it for 2 of these 3, try it for all 3. I want to make sure that you like this method, it makes sense to you. So these are just extra practice, but I want you to at least do 1 of them. If you want to try all 3, go for it. So pause the video here, do all of these. Thank you for coming back. So on C, the chip method should give you +5. So 3, 4, 5, and then adding 3 negatives. So 1, 2, 3. These make 0, those make 0, those make 0. So I'm left with 2 positives. If I was on a number line, I would be at +5 first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I would go -3. So I'd be spending $3 and I have $2 left over. Okay, so for part D, you've hopefully paused, you've tried them. -4 plus -3, you already did it. So hopefully you saw that. -7, -7 plus 8 would be a +1. 9 plus a -12 would be negative 3. Okay, so you can check your answers there. Those are all small numbers just to get you used to working with them. Now we're going to do some bigger numbers. But on the right side, there's patterns. So on the bottom of our page, we're going to have 2 patterns. Our first one is going to be when we add integers with like signs. Like signs. So our 2 steps will be to add the integers, and then our second step will be to keep their same sign. So our examples, we have 3 examples, A, B, C. So if I have negative 25 plus a negative 9, negative 43 plus a negative 68, and negative 20 plus negative 15. So these are our 3 examples. When I'm going to add them with like signs, that means 25 and 9, both of these are negative numbers. Both of these are negative numbers. Both of these are negative numbers. So that means they have like signs. They both have the same negative sign on them. And I want to add the integers. So ignore the signs. Forget that they're negative. What is 25 plus 9? That'll be 34. Now, because they're 34 and because they're both the same signs, I'm going to keep the same sign. So my answer is a negative 34. Again, these are the same signs, so ignore that they're negative. What is 43 plus 68? That would be a 1. That would be 11. So 111? Yes. And keep the same sign, so it's negative. Pause the video. What is C? Should be negative 35. So that's if they have the same sign. But what if one's positive and one's negative? Let's see what happens. So I want to add integers that have different signs. So here we have, first step is to subtract the integers. And the second is to keep the bigger sign. And now we're going to think about absolute values. That's why we learned about them last class or last video was because of these examples. So I have 3 examples again. A, B, C. First example is negative 45 plus 87, 9 plus a negative 10, negative 31 plus 31. Okay. So think about a number line on the video. I think this works. I think this is your left, correct? Okay, because it's my left. I think this works. So the left is all your negatives, the right is all your positives. Think about a number line. Where is negative 45? How far away is it from 0? What's its absolute value? What's its distance from 0? 45. Think about where 87 lies on your number line. Really far right. How far away is it from 0? 87. So which number is farther from 0? Negative 45 or 87? 87 is farther away. So that means 87 is our bigger number. So we're going to keep its sign. Is 87 positive or negative? Positive. So we know that our answer has to be a positive number because 87 was our larger number. Go through B and C. What are the larger numbers? What are the bigger numbers? Which is further from 0? So negative 10 is my larger number. So my answer has to be negative. And C is kind of funky. Did you figure it out? If I'm at negative 31, but I come right 31, where am I? 0, right. So this one actually doesn't have any fancy sign. It's just 0, okay? So back to A and B. Now that I know the answer sign has to be positive, I can do step 1, subtract them. So what is 87 minus 45? And I don't know. So 87 minus 45, that's 42. So this is a positive 42. All right, and then 9 minus 10, or 10 minus 9. 10 minus 9 is 1. But it'll be a negative 1 in this case. Awesome. And then we have 2 challenge extension questions of how would you do it if they're multiples? So if you had negative 19 plus 26 plus 14, and then negative 41 plus negative 15 plus negative 29. Add them all up. What do you get? Remember to go from left to right and go slow. So first off, what's negative 19 plus 26? Use all your information from before. Pause the video. What's negative 19 plus 26? You should end up with 7. Now you have 7 plus 14. What is 7 plus 14? 21. Awesome. All right, next one. What's negative 41 plus a negative 15? Use everything we've learned so far on your notes. Do just these 2. Pause the video. You should get negative 56. Yes. Okay, negative 56 plus a negative 29. Again, use everything that we've learned. These are the same signs, so they're like signs. So I'm going to add the integers, then keep the same sign. So it'll be a negative answer, and it should be 85. Negative 85. All right, that is our video. Did you focus? And are you able to add integers? Can you say, yes, I know how to add integers? Whether that's with the chip method, that's with the number line, that's with your brain. The number line will help you the most, I think, but can you add integers? If that's a yes, then you're awesome. Come on over and we'll practice our next activity. Adios.